Alright guys, welcome back to the Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. So today I want to look at the Redstone, which they dropped, and I want to talk about just the best options for that to pick up. So, just going through the list, I've selected a couple units I think are probably the best choices. So right now with Universe 6 being so good, it's Tech Caulifla. I mean, she gets dodge chance with Universe 6 and Peppy Gals on the team. So it's one or the other. If you have both, it does stack. So it's not amazing, but this is really good. The Universe Survival Saga or Pure Saiyans, she has a guaranteed dodge. So I mean, if you don't need a rainbow, but if you just don't have a copy, I think she's definitely worth picking up. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. She's not a very complicated unit. She's easy aid and whatnot. But yeah. Going forward to another unit I think is pretty good here is going to be this Boo, which currently I don't believe he has a team. Is there a way for me to check that? We'll go on Dokkan Info. I guess I can do it this way and just scroll through. Here he is. Does he have it? I don't think he does. I might be wrong though. He does. He's on Cell. And Diamond Vegeta. Okay, I didn't know he was on both of those. Anyways, this guy's pretty good. He wants to have the links for Majin units. That's probably the one thing that hurts him, is not having some of the Majin links up all the time. But he's insanely good. You know, you got damage reduction, super high attack and defense. So he gets a total of 70% damage reduction, and he's greatly raising defense for 3 turns. So he's a really good unit. Once again, it's one of those units, if you don't have him, definitely worth picking up a copy. That's just my opinion on him though. Going through. Same with these guys. These guys specifically though, they have a what's it called? Where'd it go? They dodge built in, which is nice to have. They also can get some damage reduction, which is also nice, but it's not a lot. Their biggest thing for me that I think is good for them is this. For the reason I say that is, right now, like currently, it's not that crazy because there's not really a good Krillin. However, you can proc it with, you know, other Trunks or Goten on the rotation. But if there's a Krillin on the team, they'll do this every time. But it's a 30% attack and defense for 2 turns for all allies, which is an insane buff to have. Like, it's really good. And then once again, I use these guys a good bit, and they're not bad. They perform pretty well everywhere I take them. I don't know if they have a 220 currently or not. That's what a lot of units I just forget about, man. I'm gonna be completely honest. There's so many units out right now. Yeah, they're on Vegetas. They're on Vegeta and Kid Goku's. I think they're pretty good on Kid Goku's. I want to say I've used them there before. It's just like they're a really good unit. I guess I should be closing these as I go. You know, they're a good unit. A lot of these units are pretty much just good units to have, because I'm assuming if you're using the Redstone, you're picking up units you don't have. If you already have the unit, I would just suggest pick up a unit you don't have. You know, there's more value in that than there is in a dupe, almost 9 times out of 10. So moving forward off that, we have this full power Frieza here, who is a great slot 1 for early fights for the first 5 turns, and I would argue it's for the first 6. So his first 3 appearances. He's a really good slot 1 unit. He's got a super easy A. He's getting defense for 30% for 3 turns, so that's going to stack. He's also got some built-in additional as well, which is also really nice. So he can do, you know, that 30%, he can get 60%, and then the next turn he'll get 60%, and it'll just keep snowballing. He's a very good unit. And he's on some teams that kind of need the help. Planet Namek Saga, Wicked Bloodline, you know, and Human Deeds. A lot of these Exploding Rage, like these teams could use some help, and he's a really solid option for that help. Considering he's a slot 1 unit, we don't get very many of those nowadays. Especially considering that. Like, that's probably the biggest thing, is that he goes slot 1, and there's just not many slot 1 units now. Which is super unfortunate. They seem scared to give us more, but, you know, you gotta make do with what you got. Man, he's pretty good. I will say he's pretty good. If I remember, I took him into the video is probably somewhere on my channel. I don't know exactly which one it is, but I had him and I was running him on Vegeta's. I think it was Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta's team, It was one of the teams, and it was in the Super Saiyan Blue fights, and he was performing pretty well. So he's pretty solid. But just moving forward, same thing with this guy. This, however, he's not a slot 1 unit. However, he is just a unit. Like, dude is a complete unit, if you know what I mean. When I say that, is he can very easily put the team on his back and just straight carry. He just shoots that damage. Very minimal effort. He's getting 40% attack and 30% defense and 12,000 HP per key sphere obtained. Not to mention his 22% damage reduction up to 66 per rainbow key sphere. And then if you have an extreme class, or just depending on your enemy, he's supporting 3 key and 30% for super class and 2 key and 20% for extreme, which is not a big hit if you're fighting extreme class. It's still something that's nice to have. And then from the fifth turn of the fight and forward, he's going to be changing key spheres, like in a random type, excluding tech, to int key spheres, which is, he's a crazy unit, man. I really can't stress this enough. If you do not have this guy, definitely pick him up. Like, he is so insanely good. But yeah, moving forward, I'm gonna keep it rolling. I don't want to dwell on one unit for too long. This guy just dropped. He seems pretty good. On the tier list of like needing to pick up units, I think he's a little bit lower. If you're really wanting the new Kaioken Blue to look good, though, definitely pick this guy up. I know I'm gonna spend my 3 redstones personally on rainbowing this guy. This is probably what I'm gonna put them towards. No, actually, I pulled a couple copies, so I don't have to put. I'll only have to put like 1 towards this. But he's definitely got some value here because his biggest thing is this 40% attack and defense for 2 turns. If there's an extreme class enemy, if it's a super class enemy, it's only for the 1 turn, but it's still really good to have. But yeah, he's a pretty solid unit. He's not like he's not gonna look outright amazing, but he's a solid, nice to have unit. Who's a very good. He's only gonna be a floater. You're not gonna want to run him on rotation. You're gonna want to float him every time. But he's a solid floater. I mean, I think he's worth the pickup. Another unit right here is Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. This guy is, you can run him, throw him in slot 1 for the first 10 turns. He's almost unkillable. Like, that's the best way to put it. For the first 10 turns of the fight, this dude is almost unkillable. I see no reason for you to not pick a copy of him up. He's just goated. Like, he's super good. If you're running him in like Super Battle or something like that, or what's it called in the I can think of the name right now. Battle Hard Warriors? Yeah, Battle Hard Warriors. He does have a chance to stun. It's only a 50% chance. However, if there's an extreme class enemy, he does get a guaranteed additional super. If it's a super class enemy, he gets an additional, that has a 50% chance to be a super. So he can triple super, is the thing. So you can get that 50% chance to roll 3 different times. So I think he's definitely worth picking up as well. I want to say there are a couple more, but I'm not 100% on that. I'm just gonna do a quick scroll through here, make sure I didn't miss any, because I didn't see that they had the double units on some of them. I thought they were all just gonna be ties, but let me go back up to the top real quick. Bardock and Gine, I think they're a solid pick. So we'll switch over to Dokkan info here. I think they're a solid pick. They've also got the raise attack allies defense by 2 turns, and that's just on their super itself, which they don't have any built-in additionals, which is unfortunate, but they also don't have a requirement for it. They just do that. Now, they can get hit pretty hard nowadays, but I think there's definitely still room for the support that you could get away with it, in my personal opinion. Kefla's not a bad unit. I wouldn't suggest necessarily picking her up if you don't. I mean, I guess if you don't have her, she's a decent pickup. She's not going to be god tier anymore, but she's pretty good. This Vados is a 70% chance to dodge or die support unit. So, I mean, do what you will with that information. Besides that, Int Gotenks is a solid pick, but he's not super good. I don't think there's going to be that many others on here. I guess Broly's a decent Super Easy A, so is Beerus. Kid Boo's pretty good, I will say that. Kid Boo's definitely pretty good. I think he's a little underrated. Yeah, I think that's it. Like, oh, I can't believe I missed him. Super Vegito, he's super easy, and I completely forgot about that. If you don't have HL Super Vegito, I do think he's definitely worth the pickup. He can't take a super attack. However, he does support, so that's nice. It's 20. It's defense and key. Super class. It's super class enemy. It's 2 key and 20%. For an extreme class enemy, it's 3 key and 30%. Now, like I said before, he can't take a super. He doesn't, or he can. It's just not gonna be very well. However, his normals, he's not gonna take damage from any normals whatsoever, and then he's also gonna get counters, so that's gonna do some nice damage as well. If you do drop below 50% HP, he does have a 2-turn scouter, so that's also nice to have. So I do think that he's a very solid unit. But if you, and honestly, building him, I'd say full dodge, simply for the hopefully better survival against supers. But I mean, as far as the units that are out now go, I think that's probably it. Oh, and I can't forget the GOAT. STR Super Gogeta. If you don't have him, pick him up. He's a different. He's something different. He's closer to that Buhan tier that I was talking about of Super Easy. Like, he's absolutely insane. So I do think that he is definitely worth picking up if you don't have a copy of him. Definitely 100% pick him up. You won't regret that. Speaking of, seeing him here makes me think, is Janemba not here? Did I overlook him? Did I overlook Janemba? Is he just not here? That's strange. I don't like that. I was gonna say Janemba would be a solid pick for this as well, but he doesn't seem to be on the list. Yeah, he's not. No Janemba. I don't know how to feel about that. Yeah. I will say this, don't do this. This right here is like the worst option that you can pick. The absolute worst. If you're thinking about picking this, literally just pick a unit you don't have. And if you don't have if you have all the units, pick a dupe for a unit you haven't rainbowed yet. The only time you should be picking this is if you have everyone rainbowed. Looking through it, another just super speculative. This is super speculative. For super easy A's, these guys, probably literally all 4 of these guys, from Vegito Blue, AGL Rose, STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and AGL Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I think the 4 of them are solid picks if you're thinking they're gonna super easy A, and you want to go ahead and get ahead of them. This Trunks and Zamasu are also, I mean, all of these guys are going to super easy A. But I'm just thinking of units who could possibly get it soon. And I think the Vegito Rose are the earliest ones we're gonna get, more than likely. But that could change randomly. I think that's it, honestly. I mean, maybe this rebrand. I don't remember when she easy-A'd. Yeah, probably not. I probably wouldn't suggest it. You can do any of them. Whatever floats your boat. I can't think that I don't think I would really suggest that, though. Yeah, I think that's really it. I don't think anybody else, no one else here is really jumping out to me as far as who to pick up. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty, calm. There's not really any units that are, besides those that I picked up, those that I listed, that are going to be super necessary or impactful that I can think of. But yeah, that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and hop on out of here. Yeah, I'm curious. Let me know who you guys pick up with your redstones. I do want to know that. I'm curious to see how everybody leans. Like for me, I'm just picking up dupes. That's what I'm picking up dupes. I've got all the units from that shop, so that's my plan. But yeah, I'm curious to see who you guys end up picking up for your redstones. With that being said, I'm gonna go and get out of here. I'll see y'all later. Peace out. Hope y'all have a good day.